We're gonna unmute me, switch my camera. There we go. Start the other camera that makes this camera better. You gotta love how that works. Here we go. And dun, da, da, da. Tiny bit clearer. Yay. Let's move my candles and my stuff. We're gonna wait for you guys to come and join. I knew that that little live was really fast, so I hope that it was seen. And if not, everyone got the notification that we're gonna be going live here in a minute. We can visit. We can hang out with each other. You know what I need to do? I need to make this lighting warmer. There we go. Sorry you get to see the back of my head today. Better? Yeah. Okay. Excuse me as I adjust things. Just a touch. That works. That works. Okay. Mic is good. Camera is good. I look forward to my sweet souls coming in. Da-da-da. Okay. Let's take off our watch. Got the time right there. More than fine. Let's clear everything. I want to keep an eye up for you guys just so that I don't miss you. Clear page. I think I want to make sure I give you your page, your little sketch page. I think that'd be cute. Clear page. Here we go. Emit. Hey. Hey, you.
Hey.
Oh, girl, you're loud. Sorry, that's my own fault. I need to turn my volume down.
I didn't expect to be the only one here.
You know, it's okay. I'm sure it won't be like that the whole time. At least that's my hope. Because I do kind of have like an internal policy that if no one shows, I'm not going to wait for 2 hours for somebody to show. So it's just like, oh, after 10 minutes or something, we just close down. But I'm glad you came and decided to come hang out with me, Hun Bunch.
Of course.
Do I get to see your beautiful face?
Yeah, hold on. I wasn't prepared. I was like, oh, I got time. Like I just made dinner.
Uh-oh.
And I'm back in my room.
It's all good. You know, because you come so often, dude, you should just shove that into your calendar. Just like you have the schedule when it goes up on Patreon and Facebook. You should just like button it in.
I actually do. That's how I knew that it was today.
Yay, perfect. Because I do try to like do the Facebook post in the morning, do the Facebook post in the afternoon, the minute like the live that comes in just at the last second to say, hey, we're going over, we hope. And then you're the only one who arrives. So it's like, you know what, whatevs.
Okay. Because I was like, oh, I'll just listen to people today.
Hey, whatever works. Well, let's give it a few more minutes. I mean, like a few more minutes. And then if no one else shows up, honey, you get my undivided attention for as long as you need it.
Look at me.
See, it pays to be the first. I love how dramatic that whole like in the air just looked like, oh yes. Goodness. I was thinking about you yesterday and today because I remember our session, what was it, 2 weeks ago, where we were talking about like your family chaosity. And I had my own family fuckery this week. And it's just like, ooh, Lindsay and I could like vibe for real right now.
I mean, let me know because I'm here.
Right there.
Just send me a message. I got you.
Luckily, I feel good now, but I was not then. And pizza was involved, and a Subway cookie happened. And you know what? It is what it is. And we're gonna have more pizza tonight because we split it in half and separated it over 2 days. And My wife is just like, you good? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine, technically. But it's all
families, good. They can suck every bit of your soul, and then you're like, and then they'll be like, but you should be fine now. Should I?
Like, just because you are and you're lying to yourself, PS, doesn't mean I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of like research and not even research, like active research, but more of just like behind the scenes listening to a lot of clinical psychologists that talk about like narcissism and family trauma in relation to narcissism. And I've been making some awarenesses that my mother seems to be attracted to narcissists. And I think my dad actually maybe, but not like the overt grandiose narcissist, but he's more, he seems like he's more on the lines of the vulnerable narcissist, where he's like, I've given so much, I do so much, I the bleeding heart, the shares entirely too much. And but it's all about him. It's all about his wounds, his damage, his problems, his sons, his blah blah blah, not worried about anybody else except for his stuff. So it's just like, I think I learned something about you that day. But
I'm keeping you in my thoughts because it's not easy.
It's all good. I mean, it's nothing that can't be, what do you call it? Not really dealt with. You don't always deal with it, but you kind of navigate it, you surf it, right? And you chew on it, literally sometimes. And you figure out how to integrate it and what does that mean now, So that's how I'm dealing with it. And then I'm talking to guides, guardians, ancestors. I'm bringing out the medicine tarot cards. I'm doing all sorts of stuff. And that's actually the inspiration behind the little group that I just created today about the Feel Better group. Because today, in the last couple of days, all I've been looking for is like little things to feel better and what makes me feel better. And the best way that I can find that is by sharing that. And so I thought that could be a really interesting little community thing that we all share with, like, I'm winning at this right now, or this makes me feel better right this second, or what have you. And so I'm hoping that it's actually useful for everybody else and not just for myself. So
I feel it. I'm with it. I love it. I did see it. So I included myself because I was like, there are days that I agree. I want to feel better.
Yeah. And sometimes, I mean, I suspect that as the group continues to either grow or get content or stuff in it, because it's kind of off the cuff, like what's making you feel better in that moment, that other people are going to see ideas and like, you know what, that cup of coffee sounds good, I'm going to go make one, and then you get that, hopefully a little bit of joy spread. At least that's the hope. That's the hope for it. But hun, let's go ahead and hop in. I'm totally down with giving you like as long as a session as you want. Do you want to start off with a question? Do you want to start off with just like see what Lindsay needs right now, or what's going on for you, hun bunch?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Okay. Do you want to share any of it, or?
Okay, there my headphones go.
Oh, your hand, are they working now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking for them. That's what I was looking for. When you were like, when I realized that I was the only one here. Oh. I'm like, I got time for headphones. That's why I was on camera. I was like, I was looking for my headphones.
It's all good. No one's judging. Well, I have a couple of things that we can do. If you want to just see what shows up, we can totally do that. I did bring along, it's my spread machine oracle. So we can pull a card or a couple of cards to see like what Lindsay needs to like look into or deal with or focus on, or whatever hodgepodge you'd like to come up with. Or I can just literally like, all right, spirit, what's here, and see what shows up. So it's up to you, hun. What would you like?
I'm gonna let you do whatever's today.
Yay! Okay, let's see. What wants to happen first? Let's have the candy first. We'll do the spread machine oracle, and then we'll hop into the hard stuff, because you know how your family likes to butt in. Like they do the hard knock and then they just show up.
Yep. Oh, I know.
All right. So I'm going to keep my spread, my PDF little doodle page for you. So after our session, I will send you either a link to download it or something like that. I haven't decided how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to let you keep those or see it or throw it away and don't even bother with it. Whatever you'd like. Okay. But your special color is going to be pink today.
Ooh, I like pink.
You like pink? Okay, good. Because I'm over here like, I think pink is going to do it. That's what's going to do it. All right, so we're going to shuffle 3. And then, we got 2 that hopped out. and then I want to share them with you. And I want you to tell me first your thoughts, like, yep, that one, nope, that one. All right, so the first one that showed up, I'm sorry, I feel bad now. Okay, we're good. First card that showed up for you was surrender, right? So I'm like, oh, damn. And so for this card particularly, it's to allow, to soften, to give permission, to trust, to open yourself up. So that's a topic that we can pull on. I'm sorry again in advance, this is upbringing. So upbringing is what limiting beliefs or values were taught to you that still affect you today. What unresolved trauma or negativity have you experienced during your upbringing that still holds power over you? So just to show you, that's what it is. I did not do this deliberately, I swear. Okay, seeker. So that would be about you in particularly. This is, use this card to represent you, who you are, what you may be thinking or feeling, how you are positioned in the situation or the relationship right now. Make sense?
Yeah, it all makes sense.
Okay. Is there a card that you'd like me to focus on or omit?
I laugh because it's all true.
Right? That's why I'm kind of like, damn it, I didn't mean to do that. That's awesome.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're all right.
All right. Well, let's hop in and see what shows up. So I'm just going to pull one card for each and then kind of evolve our reading around that. So there's that first one. There's the second one. And we'll flip the third one in a second once the bottom. Perfect. Ooh, this is fun. I love experimenting. This is glorious. So the first card I got for you is the Seeker, is where we're going to start off. I got the Star. So I kind of dig that. Low key love it. So let me hop into that for you real quick. The Star. Let me move my mic so you don't hear me breathing. We only like that so much, like calm down. So the primary message from the Star usually shows up for us. It's understanding ourselves as the center of the universe in relation to ourselves, not in relation to others, but like in relation to ourselves. So I'm wondering, well, I know a little bit about you nowadays. I know that you are trying to focus on you. You are trying to keep one foot in your emotions and one foot in the ground and kind of find some balance between those things. And that seems to perpetual like back and forth. I'm on all of my emotions. I'm all grounded and I feel nothing because fuck all y'all, you know? So it's this back and forth between the two. So back and forth between the two. But the thing that's like kind of showing up alongside that is I feel like you still, I mean, I know this about you though, so it's not really news. You judge yourself pretty heavily based on every moment in which you spend on either side. So if you're in your emotions, you're like, God damn these emotions. If you're super grounded and you're not feeling anything, God damn my lack of emotions or what have you. So I feel like you still kind of judge yourself pretty heavily regarding each and every side that you're on. And I'm wondering if even maybe that is part of kind of like the perpetual work that you get to do, is to have that kindness towards yourself and not measure yourself up against other people's expectations or even your own unrealistic expectations of yourself. Because, you know, we all build our expectations based on something. And often they're societal, often they're family, often they're the things that you think that you should be doing. And so it's like, it seems one of the little perpetual life works that you get to do is learn how to not judge yourself against measurements that you didn't even create. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense.
Okay, good. Second card. Surrender. So surrender. What showed up for that one was the Ace of Cups. And I love that because it's the return of the heart. And it's usually all about emotions, like the mother lode of emotions. It's the holy grail of all of that. So I'm wondering, do you sometimes spend more time excavating your emotions than really doing any active work on them?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Like, that's what happens. So what do we need to know about that card? Because it's a good thing to dig into your history, your past, your pathologies, your tendencies, the family dynamic. It's a good thing, but the the wisdom that's coming up behind it is like remembering to actually do the activity behind it. So it's like you have all this knowledge, but unless it's applied, it's no wisdom. It's just knowledge, right? And I remember you talking about how part of your little internal mission is to help other women do kind of the work that you're wanting to do. But you're not going to be able to unless you take steps and take actions and even little ones. It won't go anywhere unless you take those little itty bitty steps, you know? But I think you do know, because I feel like you're getting called out right now.
Yeah, you are 100% correct. Yep.
What else is in there regarding surrender? Dude, you're even judging that. Like your ability to, yes, your ability to take steps, to take action. Okay, so when I find that we do a repeat pattern of behavior, I often find figuring out a way to channel that behavior is first a good method to do something with it, instead of trying to annihilate it, because blowing it up doesn't work long term. It just kind of leaves a vacant spot, and then it ends up coming back. So you tend to be a self-judgy kind of person. So how can self-judgy person can be channeled into something else? Do you know?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that's awesome. Can you make time for yourself to actually do that then, so that self-judgy actually gets exercised and not suppressed?
Yeah, so I actually, not today because I got too drunk last night,
Oh.
but I'm actually participating in Ramadan this year.
Oh.
My friend asked me to, and during that time is going to be dealing with all of the things that I've been struggling with, and get me a stronger connection to the Creator. So all the things that you're saying, actually, I recognized, and so
Good.
I'm actually actively working on trying to work through my own emotions and not suppress them, because when I can't keep suppressing them and tell people to keep moving forward.
Exactly. You got it. Because that's all that. What is it? The calling the kettle black, or whatever that that euphemism.
Yeah.
Yes.
Calling the kettle black. Yep.
That whole thing. Good. I'm glad that how awesome are you for doing that? Because I just read something about that today, about how to be a support during Ramadan, not necessarily feeling the desire to participate, but if you do, like honor that, because that's a little treasure. That's a little gift that can be shared. That last card for you, honey, that upbringing though, the fun stuff. So what I'm looking for, the self-limiting belief portion of it. That's the portion that I'm looking at, because your history inside and out. So no one's going to judge that there. But the card that showed up for you was the Six of Pentacles. And so my first thought is your limiting beliefs surrounding giving and money, and the relinquishment of things that you've procured, because often with this card, there's a generosity there, but I'm wondering if your sense of generosity, or the entitlement that sometimes shows up with people who are generous, or people who are expected to be generous, I wonder if that's something that you sometimes contend with your family.
I think that's why they thought that they could talk to me the way that they did.
Well, not only do we say fuck that, but do you give them money or give them resources? Anyone in the family?
I don't give them money. I do give them a lot. Like, I used to babysit for their kids. I, like, without any financial support. I used to do like a lot of things for people.
Okay.
Like drive my sister around everywhere, and I was like, I don't have gas. Well, I'll just do it, Lindsay. Just do whatever. But that blows up in my face, because they have an expectation of how I act, right? Or my sister-in-law saying, well, I took you to an appointment and my son was sick, and you, after I dropped you off, you went and drove your car. I was probably high looking for food, to be honest. And I didn't want to bother you to take me to go get me some food. So because So, I mean, I don't even remember the situations, but everyone has this idea or has a story of how I harmed them. But in the same aspect, they didn't even tell me about it. But they have this exception of like, I'm supposed to keep giving to them
Mm-hmm.
without any, but I'm the one that's harming others.
Okay. So that's it. To me, that's, boundaries issues, boundaries work. But again, you and I have talked about that, and so we've been blue in the face a couple of times. So I'm glad we know that. I'm glad we know that. But it seems like you're starting to understand that you need to pull that part of yourself back, and limiting the expectation of, not even the expectation, well, yeah, kind of the expectation, limiting what you're allowing yourself to get subjected to so that the expectations don't persist, right?
Yep.
So good. So you're doing that. And it's a practice, because you're not going to get it perfectly every time, but every time you have an experience with a family member, it's just reminding you of like, another boundary line needs to be drawn here, another boundary line needs to be drawn there. Oh, we'll got to do that one, now we got to build it up and do it over here. You figure out where they need to go every time you have these experiences with your family.
Yes, ma'am.
So I what is that belief that it's like, I feel like you're almost brought up with, and I think that's part of this chaos that shows up. It's like anything for family, like family can
Yes.
ask for anything, they should do everything for each other. Was that like almost like a literal verbal thing, like we said it out
Yep.
loud? Everything,
Yep.
anything for family. Gotcha.
Yep. That's my dad, 100%.
Gotcha. Okay. So we needed a caveat to that. I'm actually going to write it down. So instead of anything for family, because that crosses all sorts of boundaries and gets very toxic. And I mean, hell, that can get incestuous and damaging and all sorts of other terrible splinters and death by 1,000 cuts kind of stuff. Anything for family, what can that turn into? Let's see. Anything for family. I'm literally asking like whoever's going to show up, like, give me something else. Like, let's replace that. What could we replace that with? Anything for family that I allow. Allow. Because I think it's still like anything for family that you should choose, or that you choose. Choose. Because this is not obligatory. And it should not be obligatory, regardless of what your mama or what your dad says. It's no, no, it's not obligatory. Usually it's, what is it? Families will set up that standard because they have terrible boundaries and suspect that they will need something from you in the future. So it's like laying the foundation for manipulation in advance, right? Mm-hmm. Ooh, anything for family that is responsible. I like that one. I'm writing that down. What else? How about just simply not anything or not everything? How about that? Not everything. I like that one. What would you throw in?
Not everything within their what their idea is.
Not everything.
I know that didn't make sense coming out my mouth.
Hey, so long as you know what it is. So say it again. Not everything.
Not everything that they need is what I need to provide. That's a better way to say it.
How about not everything that they expect?
Yes.
Gary. I like that one. Not everything they expect. Ooh, I'm going to put a big old box around the they. There we go. One more.
Is that their urgency is not mine.
I like that. Not everything within, oops, their urgency. Those moments when you realize you can't spell.
All the time.
Well, you know, the funny thing is all that has to matters is that you understand it. So that's all that matters. See why that is not mine. I like it. Cool. All right. I did that. So let's circle back. What is the big thing that we need to know about all of this? Ay. So the one thing that I feel like we still need to remember all the time when it comes to all this chaos is that your family isn't going to change. So it's up to you to change.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, you know that, but I do think sometimes you just need that reminder because we forget and think it's, oh yeah, it'll be fine this time. No, it won't be fine that time. What else? Boundaries is still a big thing for you. Did you happen to look at that lady that I sent you?
Yeah.
Good. She's a sweet one. Boundaries. I wish she had a workbook because I think that would be really, really useful. Hell, even for myself. Maybe that's a note to self. That's not even a note to Lindsay. That's a note to Abby. Or we'll both use it. We'll both use it.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, funny. Okay, what else? Aw, you know, the big thing like surrounding you, I still get a ton of pride, like ancestral wise. I still feel a lot of like your spirit team that loves and adores you. People that used to know you that didn't understand you when you were little that now think you're cooler than French bread now. So it's just like, she's amazing. Even if she doesn't know it, even if they don't know it, like the people that you want to know it, even if they don't know it, you're still kind of a rock star. You know this already though. So that's good. But no problems repeating that for you. Please tell me you're not dating right now. Damn it.
I can't tell you that. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I'm not, but I am. I guess.
Okay. Because I feel like you're getting a little bit of like, hold on, honey, hold on. So let me see what that is. So you're getting tattled on.
It happened while I was in Houston for my birthday last week.
Okay. That's funny. Okay, I'm going to read on that. So what do we need to know about that little situation? What's the person's name, if you don't mind me asking?
His name is Sammy, but I can't say his real name.
Okay.
He's Nigerian.
So is my father. So maybe you can like help me understand cultural problems that I'm experiencing.
My sister-in-law is actually Nigerian.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, no, it's not.
No.
Oh, no. That's a whole, listen, Nigerians and their culture is a whole beast. A whole beast.
Yeah.
It is not for the faint of heart at all.
I love the pride. I love so much about it. I am struggling with it at this second. So
yes.
All right, Sammy. Sammy feels like a sweetheart though.
Yes, he is, but he ghosted me while I was in Houston.
Fucker.
But he called me today and he told me that he was just going through something, but he couldn't communicate. He said, I told you I was doing something, Lindsay. I was like, but you weren't not communicating your needs, because it felt to me, I had a conversation with him about something that my ex-husband left me with, and it's not going to go anywhere. And he left me 5 minutes later after I told him. So I thought he took what I said and was just like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Got you. Okay. Oh, I just got a ding on something. So you already know that you have a tendency to has your therapist already talked to you about complex PTSD?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been diagnosed with that?
Um, no, I don't know. I do have PTSD, but
Okay.
but it's from a situation. But I do have PTSD from.
Gotcha. Okay. So again, this is just a notion. Follow it down the rabbit hole if you'd like to. People who have complex PTSD often also have attachment wounds in addition. So, right, with those attachment wounds, we get hyper vigilant. And so what we end up doing is looking for any smell, any sound that looks like they're going to run, right?
Mhm.
And it's really, really hard to come back off that cliff. It is really hard.
Oh my God. I'm laughing because that is exactly what I did. I tell him something, he left. I was like, fuck you.
Right?
I'm done. I'm gonna go search for somebody else. And I'm talking to multiple people, right? And I'm just like, and then I'm surprised men want to talk to me.
Oh, sleepy.
Because literally I only talk, like, I know once people find interest in me, I run.
Hey, Vay.
Oh shoot, that is so funny because they brought that up. That's real life.
Okay.
No, sorry.
It's all good, honey. I'm just like, again, that is not something that Abby can help you with, but that's something that psychiatry, ecology therapists can help you with, because it's all about that whole not flinching when you get that whiff in the air that they're going to leave, that they said that you said something, that you did something wrong, because you have a super sensitive pulse on the ground. And anytime you feel a thump, you think the house is falling in, right?
Yes.
And the whole point is to like, give it a second, hold on, don't reflex run, just panic quietly for a quick second and see. Panic for a quick second and just watch. Because you can have all your emotions and you're going to have them, but it's the acting on them that I sometimes think can like kick you in your own butt. And makes you a little bit overwhelming in those kind of communications with your tentative dating people. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense.
Okay. What can we do about that? Do you have a girlfriend that you could call like your battle buddies? Like every time you're dating and before you freak out, you call her to say, oh my God, this fucker did blah, 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 blah. Do you have somebody that you can go to for that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Like make the arrangement, like an expressed arrangement. Dude, I need you to pull me off of the cliff when I text you and I'm thinking that everyone is leaving me. Like, I need you to pull me back off that cliff. Just have that arrangement so that when you call, she answers, and when she texts, she answers, and she knows like, it's okay, Lindsay. He doesn't mean that he's gone. It just means that he's going through something and it don't involve you. Whatever she needs to say to kind of help out there. Let's see what else is in there. They literally get the term battle buddy, because I feel like it's almost like you're doing war every time you go and try to date. Every time you go and have a connection, it kind of seems like, who's gonna win this fight? Like, why is it Mortal Kombat every time you go and date? Like, why do we do that? Let's see. What else? Something that's showing up is I feel like someone's giving you a reminder. It's like, if they've agreed to talk to you, if they've agreed to meet you, that means you already won. You already won the battle, the game. You've already won. And so you don't have to continue to fight. You don't have to continue to prove. You don't have to continue to do all these things to keep them. Like, you've already won. And then after, it's a perpetual choosing of each other. They're choosing you, you're choosing them. And so we share gently and lightly, maybe hold the ex-husband stuff for the second or the third date. But it's a choosing each other. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I still feel like you need to go through that a few times. Like, even though we just shared that little bit of wisdom, like, you need the experience of, that's what Abby said. Oh, fuck. Hold on, where's my battle buddy? And call her. Because you need to go through it a couple of times and feel it, because you need proof. You're not just going to take my word for it. You're going to need proof.
Yes, 100%.
Right. Because of course, the healthier you get, the better decisions you're going to make romantically.
Yeah.
And it's going to take time, but you will get there. You will make that happen. What else? What's the word? I just learned a term the other day of future faking. Have you ever heard of that before?
Mm-mm.
So future faking is a term for when you're dating somebody and they keep you kind of pulled in because they tell you that one day we're going to do that one thing that you want. One day we're going to have the big old wedding of your dreams. One day we're going to have, get married and have kids, but one day, not today, not next weekend, not, 4 months from now, but one day. And so it kind of keeps you in the dynamic longer because even you think, oh, one day, this is what we have planned. So future faking often can happen, especially through narcissistic personalities, to keep you hooked in, to kind of keep you around and keep you as the resource. So the reason that showed up is for one, you don't do it to yourself, and also don't allow other people to do it to you. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, got you. So if you for yourself are talking about one day I'll have the house of my dreams, I much rather you start as a little tiny savings account where you're shoving little, change of money at it so that you're not future faking yourself, because that's like a promise that you're starting to keep for yourself. Let's see what else. Oh, the house stuff, but we can circle back to that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's see. I want to make sure I hit your other highlights while my nose is itching. There we go. Is there any other questions in the stuff that we just kind of dropped for you? No? Okay. Anything else?
You on it?
I'm on. Well, thank you, darling. Let's see. What else? Because I always like to give like your spirit team the opportunity to like do the grand gesture or the big message that they want you to know this go around. So I don't understand this. I hope that you will, but I'm getting nudges to tell you to go ahead and pay for it. So whatever it is, to go ahead and pay for it. What are you talking about, sweetie? No, it feels like something that you're kind of on the fence about. Either like, is something worth spending XYZ amount of money on? Like to go ahead and I know that would be too easy. Why couldn't they just tell me that? Like, is that it though? It felt a little bit more basic, like getting a pedicure is what it felt like, kind of thing.
Oh,
like something,
yeah, that's real.
Right? So it felt a little bit more subtle than the house. It felt more like you being worth spending money on. It's okay to spend XYZ on yourself. Do you ever like bump up? Sorry?
Yep. I just spent money yesterday and I was thinking about taking all of it back.
Oh, okay. So no, financially, if you can technically afford it, then keeping it because you are worth that. You are worth it. Okay. So yeah, you are being tattled on. I love it.
Oh, they're really like telling all my business today.
I know, right, honey? Telling you that's what happens when you leave it up to me.
Jeez.
What else? I keep getting pulled into this lipstick, like a red lipstick or a red like color. Like, tell me about that.
Yo, I got this red lipstick that I wore on my birthday, and it's like this red that it pops. Ooh. And it makes me feel like a whole badass.
Nice. Okay, so I feel like you need to build yourself a badass kit and include that lip color in it, and then also get some pictures taken with it because you feel kind of like a hot mama in it. Like, go ahead and rock that shit. And sorry, I'm getting like 4 pieces of information at the same time. So photos for you, because you're back on your apps, aren't you?
No, I actually erased them.
Why do I not believe you? Like,
no, seriously, I erased them. They're like while I was in Houston, I got so upset. I just erased them. But I also go through phases where I download them again. But
Yeah.
at this very second, I have like none on them, my phone.
Okay. Well, whoever doesn't believe you, so that's fine.
Ugh,
But it's more of like the okay, it's very likely you'll probably go back, right? Or at
yes,
least I'm
yeah,
assuming. Okay.
yeah,
So the
that's
feeling that
fair.
I'm right, the feeling that I'm getting is use those photos, like do a little photo, like a selfie photo shoot, whatever it is that you need, with the badassery lip kit and your hair done the way that you love, and wear something that just makes you feel like $1,000,000 and get some photos taken. Doesn't have to be fancy like a whole shoot per se, but if you can do it in your bathroom or in your living room or in the park, whatever, just get some of those photos, because that's you standing in your strength and your power and your badassery, instead of pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me. You know, it's shifting that energy. You know what I'm going for?
Yeah, no, I know
Okay.
exactly what you're saying.
Good, 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 good. What else in there? I do think you need a badass kit, because like literally a kit, like make something for yourself that you can go to over and over again that makes you feel like $1,000,000. Okay.
Mhm.
Because they keep giving me that a couple times. They're asking me to tell you about putting a candle in it. Do you have like do you love candles? Like that's your
I
thing? Or
love, yes, that is
okay.
fire and water.
Okay. So again, they're circling back on this kit for you. So get a box, throw your lip color in it, throw your candle in it, throw your water source in it. They're giving me something regarding like ice and spheres, so like circular ice cubes.
Oh, those are my favorite.
Okay, well there you go.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's my favorite because I like whiskey, but you know.
Get a little, that's okay, that's what it was, because I didn't understand the bottle that I got and I thought that was rude, so I wasn't gonna go there. My bad. I got a Crown Royal bottle, like a tiny Crown Royal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm over here thinking like I try not to censor myself, but oh my gosh. Okay. So that makes sense. But a tiny one, not a big one. Don't overkill it, honey. We're talking little, a little one. I feel like we're being very literal about no, get the little bottle, not the big one. Because the big one will make you sit on your ass for a little while too long. So let's not do that. They're bringing up leggings. So like, yeah, something on your legs that feels good, feels soft to the skin, that kind of makes you feel good being in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shoes too. Do you have a pair of flats that you absolutely adore?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, throw that in the kit. Yeah, because it's like everything that they're kind of giving me the feels of is like anytime that you feel like, you know, shit is hitting the fan, or god damn it, that person ghosted me again, go ahead and put your badass kit on, take a few photos, and I feel like you can post those to social, you can put those on your profiles plural, you can just share that, you know, this is how I'm feeling today, you know, what have you, and that in itself will kind of do wonders to kind of relight your little internal spark.
Mm-hmm.
Suggestion is that you don't include food in your badass kit.
That's fair.
Right? You're like, no cookies, because I got the cookie reference, but it's like, no. And I'm like, okay, fine, no cookies. Anything else? Anything else? It's just stuff about you feeling like a rock star. Anything that helps you feel like a rock star, hun. When was the last time you literally like listened to Rihanna?
Oh, it's been a while. I don't know why. She's just not my go-to.
What is it? Okay, again, I don't know exactly who I'm referring to, but the reference I'm getting is the duet between Rihanna and the Slash, and the song is called Rockstar.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're suggesting you look it up. So just watch it once, call it good. Maybe you'll get some inspo from it or something, or just catch the vibe.
Feeling it.
There you go. Aww. Anything else? Oh, did you tell me that one of your grandmothers has passed?
Both of them actually are
Both
passed.
of them. Okay. One of them is telling me just remind you that grandma loves you. So just the very super simple, just remember grandma loves you. So it's just like, oh, just little hugs and love right there. Yeah, because she's giving me like teddy bears. And anytime I get teddy bears for someone, it's kind of like them just showing support and trying to be like hugs and love. Hugs and love. Yeah. Okay. Groovy. So outside of that, which is all fun, all such fun, you have the house stuff. So what's going on there?
Yes. I found her. I found her.
Okay.
I while I was in Houston, I gave up. I was like, we'll just think, I don't know. I might end up in my car. I gave it to the universe. My realtor called me and was like, no, Lindsay, like I need you to come see this place. And I'm like, no, I mean, okay, cool, whatever. And she's like, no, but when do you get back? And I was like, I'm back on Tuesday. I'm available on Wednesday.
Okay.
And so I go see the place and automatically I start envisioning everything, right?
Good.
And she goes, I sent so I ordered the paperwork and it should be here because she paid $300 to get it. She goes, I knew this was your house.
Okay.
But I was just like, so like now I'm just kind of like, I just wanted to know, like, because because I'm getting an FHA loan, I can't buy this place.
Okay.
The HOAs are too expensive, and my
Okay.
lender is not, like, they have to approve it, and he's not going to approve it with it being close to $500.
And you mean the house that you're interested in or the house that you're in?
The house that I'm in.
Oh, okay. But it doesn't matter, right? Because you found your house.
I think I found my house, but I just wanted to, just kind of get the feel of it.
It's funny. I'm getting like, whenever I touch on something that's not my responsibility to share too much info on, I get kind of like, and so I'm getting very much the whole like for you in that regard, but I'm getting the why, because if Abby gives you too much, I feel like you're going to take that info and either circle on it, hover on it, chew on it, circle around, get a little neurotic, and you're going to look for any reason to bail. You're going to look for any reason to get rid of it. You're going to, like, the same thing that you do for relationships, you'd end up doing for this house. And so the whole point is to not to. But the wisdom and the advice that they're giving me is go ahead and stake ownership. So go ahead and continue that whole feeling of that's my house. That's my house. And feel yourself walking through the house and putting up your walls and your curtains. And if you have access to the property, I'd even like drop something of yours like at each four corners to kind of claim, this is my space, bitches. Y'all can't come here. Like, this is mine. This is mine. But outside of, because in all reality, worst case scenario, if you don't get this house, that means there's another amazing space waiting for you. So I keep getting like, it's not my job to dig into it. It's not my job to peel that one back for, not even that. It's not my job to take away this learning opportunity for you. So that's what your peeps, because you have to navigate this one. They're telling me you're a big girl now. You need to navigate this one on your own.
But okay, so can you at least tell me if I'm gonna be homeless by the end of May?
You are not gonna be homeless, and you already know that. You are not gonna be homeless. Because I feel like your fear of homeless is like literally tent in the woods by yourself under a bridge kind of homeless. And it's like, you ain't gonna let yourself get like there. You're not gonna do it. You have too many resources, too many family, too many opportunities available to you. You'll rent before you do that. You'll go to a hotel before you even have to do that. You're not gonna be homeless.
Fine.
Okay. You're not gonna be homeless. Okay.
Okay.
And it's okay for you to believe you're not gonna be homeless, because you're not gonna allow that to happen to you. Because that's one thing about homelessness. Not all cases. I'm not saying this is universal, but for you in particular, homelessness would have to happen to you, and you're not going to allow that to happen.
Been there once, and I think that's my fear. And this is why they're
Mm,
asking about housing. I just can't go back there. It was awful.
I believe you. You're not going to allow that to happen to yourself again. Like, are you going to allow your ex-husband to walk into your door right now?
No.
Right. You're not going to allow yourself to get homeless.
True.
See?
So then let me keep dreaming about my house and how
Please
I'm going to
do.
decorate it.
There you go. Think about them curtains, think about the sofa, think about the bedroom that you're going to build for yourself, whatever it is that you're doing, just daydream away. And in that same breath, because I feel like you have that secondary thought about what if I'm doing all this daydreaming and it doesn't pan out? It doesn't matter though. Those feelings feel so good, and it's so much fun to feel them and to be in them, that in itself is adding fuel to the getting you a house fire. So that's always good stuff.
Yeah, it's the money thing that's scary.
You will figure it out. I don't know how you're gonna figure it out, but you're gonna figure it out. I have no worries about that at all for you, Hun Bunch. No worries at all. Is there any other questions I can dig into for you?
No, yeah, I mean, my ancestors blasted me out about everything that I wasn't even going to talk about. So, I mean, I feel like you covered all aspects of my life today. I mean, okay, aunties and grandmas,
right?
I find that rude.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault, it's their fault. I was like, they're like, you're dating. Wait, am I? I mean, okay.
That's funny. That is funny. I wish I had more to say about like why it's funny because anytime I even touch up against that feeling that you just gave me, it totally means like I need to put my hands behind my back and just like, yes, ma'am. Tell her what she needs to hear. Yes, ma'am.
And they come in, sometimes they be like quiet and sometimes they come in strong. And I feel like they just blasted me. And I promise you, I wasn't even going to talk about any of the men that I'm talking to. Because why? What's the point? I was like, it's fine. It's not like they're going to stick around anyway. But now you all call me out. I just been telling you, even though because you connected to them, y'all called me out and you're rude.
That's what she said. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness. She's funny. They're funny. They're giving me one last reference for you about something about putting a coin in your hand and holding on to it as like a gift or a connection to someone. So I don't know if you have something like that from one of the family members, but just the holding on to it and holding your hand at the same time. They're just kind of giving me that reference. So that's awesome. Tons of support. You'll have everything you need. That's all that I'm getting off of them. But what fun.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Hun Bunch. We'll totally hang out if you'd like. I see Miss Grace is here. I'm going to go ahead and mute you, Miss Lindsay. There we go. Miss Grace.
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart. Oh, look at that beach. Just the background.
Yeah, that's where I want to be.
Oh my goodness. You know, the reason that I call you Miss Grace is because I've never learned the proper pronunciation of your first name. Would you tell me?
Yeah, it's really easy. It's Tamiriel.
Tamiriel. Oh, okay, yeah, that is epically easy. So I will never butcher it again. So thank you. Thank you so much. Tamiriel. There we go. All right, my dear. Well, tell me, what can I do for you? We're kind of like, it's just the two of you today. And so I just read Lindsay like across the room and back. So
I know that was so awesome. Sorry, Lindsay, but it was amazing. And the energy, oh my goodness, I was feeling it. So
yeah. Lovely. Well, what I did for her that was a different start than what we normally do is I was using my spread machine Oracle, and I pulled 3 cards for us to kind of give us just the start. And then we just saw where the reading went from there. So would you like to do the same?
Yes, let's do it.
Sweet.
Let's just see where the energy is and what's going on in the universe.
Right? Because it seems like right now there's just the two of y'all. Let's take advantage.
Definitely.
All right. So what 3 things do we need to focus on for you? And I'll share with you in just a sec. There we go. What's this 3rd one? There we are. Can I get your the husband that I read for of yours that has passed away? What was his name again?
Tim.
Okay. So I'm pretty certain he's going to chat with us today because I already feel him knocking on the doors. So I'm just going to go with that here in a sec. I'm using a different color for you, Tamiriel. Oh yeah, that's also something that I'm going to do. I am, these sketches that I do for the sessions,
Yes.
I'm going to export them to PDFs and send the links to you guys.
Yes.
So Lindsay's going to get hers. Hers is a couple pages long, actually 10 pages long.
Wow.
And you're going to be green. Are you okay with that color?
Yeah, green's fine. It's
Perfect.
actually I got green on today.
Oh, nice.
And
Perfect.
it's red
So
and green. Yeah.
nice. So that'll be the color that I'll use for you. We used pink for Miss Lindsay. So that's gonna be cool. But all right, so I pulled the first card, and you get to totally let me know, like, does this land already? Does it resonate? Does it not? And then we can move on or do something different. But the first card that I got for you was lead, and I'll read the text for just a second. So this is to be a role model, to set an example, to facilitate, to show the way, to steer towards the right direction. So that's just like one of the cards that's showing up, and I'll pull a tarot card to read on that in just a sec. The other topic is another secret card. This is worldview. And so this talks about your point of view, your perspective, your opinions, your attitude. You can also dive deeper and use this as a card to explore your core values, ingrained beliefs and childhood conditionings. And then the last card is to disengage, or disengage is the word, and to disown something that is not aligned with who you are, to disagree, to step away from a toxic influence, or to take a break. So, sound like a good start, or should we?
No, that sounds like a good start. Let's see where it goes.
Perfect. All right, so let's pull first three. What about lead? There you go. 2. Whoever's in the room with you is super fast. That's kind of cool. So let's see. Yeah. Oh, my head's gonna be full. All right, first card we got is sorry, I have to laugh. I have to laugh for a quick second. So the first card was lead, right? So the card that showed up was the 2 of Cups. And so for me, when I get the 2 of Cups, it's often about partnerships or relationships, even, or connections between you and other people. And so my thought, or my suggestion or invitation, is thinking about, at least as of right now, like, who is it that you're getting connected with, or who is it that you're beginning to, the feeling that I'm getting is like just starting to allow yourself to get connected to. Is there any of that that's, you're just kind of like putting your toes out there, kind of a little bit?
Yeah, so I told you about the potential job, and
Yeah.
the move. So I've been in touch with that person, and she and I have like this amazing energy together.
Oh,
And
good.
so the superintendent of the school district called me and was like, she loves, like, you guys are going to be great at building this department and leading. So when you said,
Oh,
because he's like, your energy, and she was like, oh my gosh, I really like her. We really go well together.
yeah.
And so, yeah, and we've had a few conversations, and it's just been like,
Good.
how you just, you talk to somebody and you kind of feel like they're a kindred spirit.
Yeah.
And she didn't mention it. I was mentioning, going back to Mississippi, and she's from Mississippi. So, originally she's from Mississippi. So it was just like this connection. And now she's, in Madison, Wisconsin, and, and she's made history on so many levels. And it's like, I'm so honored to work with her. And she's so humbled, and she's like, well, I'm honored to be working with you. And I'm like,
Lovely.
what?
Lovely. I dig it. I dig it. That's like the epitome of like very non-sexual cuteness. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
So it was just amazing. Like, when I talk about people that I want to learn from and grow from, and like Carolyn Stanford Taylor is like one of those ladies. Like, you Google her and she has her own Wikipedia, because she is the first Black woman in the state of Wisconsin history to lead their Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction.
Wow.
And I get to work with her, so it's just like so amazing. One of her best and closest friends is Gloria Lansing Billings. And I don't know if people know who that is, but I'm like, I am.
You're like, fall out your seat, just like,
I know. Well, people outside of education don't usually know, but I mean, like Carolyn Stanford Taylor, but everybody knows who Gloria Lansing Billings is. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. So when you said that, and to see the potential and to know that I was hesitant to pursue this opportunity
Yeah.
yeah. It's like, girl, stop.
Yes. Essentially, because with that card, it is the ultimate partnership. Because and I don't even know if you can see it there, but there's this symbol right there.
The 2 cups.
Right, the 2 cups, and then
Yes.
right here there's that symbol in between them. That's
Yes.
about medicine and alchemy. So the two of you are going to be like creating something beneficial, meaningful, useful, valuable here. And maybe just between the two of y'all or for others, it doesn't matter, but it's going to be effervescent. It's going to be systemic. It's going to, move to other things and other situations. So yeah, there's no need to worry. Those are all wonderful, great things.
Okay.
So the other card, which was worldview, and this is your point of view, your perspective, your opinions, and your attitudes. We got the Page of Swords in here.
Okay.
And the interesting thing about this card in relation to what we just talked about is that this card is usually the one that has the feeling of needing to measure up to be seen worthy amongst this crowd. And you don't have to allow yourself to get insecure here. You have already measured up. You have already won. So you just being you just continuing like to be your own, like we just talked about badassery a little bit ago, you continuing to be your own, glorious badass self is going to be exactly what you need to continue forward in this and anything else that you do. So you don't have to change, just be yourself in there.
Okay.
What else?
That's because the self-doubts are, yeah.
Self-doubt is real.
Yeah, it is, because it's like, okay, am I going to be able to measure up to what she's done and, her work? And she's like at the age where she retired. And so then she came back because she, got reinvigorated to, do some additional work. And so it's like, I want to learn from her.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be able to hold my own as well.
You will. I feel like you'll need encouragement to do so. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have to talk about it a couple times, but ultimately you don't have to measure up because you already did. She already found you worthy. She is pulling you in. She's getting you here. So you've essentially already got it. And you'll end up being like the refreshment to the room. You'll bring in new energy and stuff that maybe she didn't think about right off, because as skilled as she is, as wonderful as she is, she still needs new influences, and that's where you step in. So that's going to be pretty epic for you in that regard. So that last card was worldview. This is disengage, and the world is what showed up for you on that one.
Oh,
and
wow.
the funny thing I'm feeling about that card in particular is, oh, did you want to take a picture of it? I can totally.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
Okay, go ahead.
Got it.
Okay. Do you want any of the other ones?
That would be awesome. All right, got it.
There we go. And last one.
Got it.
Sweet. Luckily, you always get the recording, of course, but I'm glad that you could get the photos too. So let's see, where were we at? We were at disengage. There we go. Okay. So the one big thing about this card, there's another card that looks very close to this, but is more of the student card, the more of the, learning, the beginning, the first year of college kind of card. This card, when it shows up for us, it's the accumulation of the knowledge that you've already gone thus far, and then putting it into action, putting it into play. Basically, you don't have to be the student anymore. I mean, yes, you are a student in relation to her, but you can act and behave as an authority, and that is okay, based on the circumstances and the situation that you're going to be called into. So you're not always going to be just student. You're actually going to be looked at as also an authority, and it's okay to stand in that and not allow yourself to feel arrogant or ungrateful or anything like that sometimes shows up when people are not humble. You don't have to grovel when you're humble. You don't have to be on your knees to be humble. You can stand in your own and still show respect. And so those two can live side by side. So let's see what else. Let's see. Disengage. Because every time I hop into this card, I keep feeling like it's talking to me about you letting go of feeling like you're not old enough or good enough or experienced enough for this role. So it's like whatever it is, not enough. Try to back away from that thinking process, that philosophy, because it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve the work that you're going to be doing. Yeah, because I feel like you're going to end up needing to be like a little bit on repeat with yourself of you've already won, you've already won, you've already won, you've already earned your stripes, you already got here, you already got everything that you need. Let's see, what else? What else? I feel like the work that you're doing is going to be bigger than what you've anticipated it to be. The wisdom that I'm getting with that is just to allow it to happen, go with the flow of it instead of trying to throttle or accelerate. So don't try to like pull it back or to shove it forward. It's going to take on its own momentum, and it's going to be best or easiest to just roll with it. Roll with the speed in which it unfolds instead of trying to control the speed in which it unfolds. Anything else? Is there any questions in there that I can answer for you?
No, that's fine.
Gotcha. All right, so let's see what else we need to dig into. Because yeah, your hubby was knocking on the door a minute ago, so I want to give him space.
Yeah, let's see what he wants.
I love how you put that. Like, what do you want? He feels exceedingly proud. I'm trying to get him to get specific though, because it's like proud of what? Yeah, you're the spouse. You're supposed to be proud. You're supposed to. But I feel like I feel like he's the whisper in your ear when you're going through this whole process. And so he's kind of been the person who's been like cheering you on and trying to like keep your encouragement up and keep your energy and your such up. So he's really, really proud that you were able to feel that and hear it and go with it, even if you didn't have all the answers. So he just feels exceedingly proud that he's giving me went and kicked ass, but that you did this work, that you did this. What else? Where's the... Forgive me for not having your whole like family memorized at this moment, but did you tell me that you have 2 older daughters?
Yes, 2 older daughters and a son.
Right, because we're usually talking about babies circling around you. Well, I'm not feeling that right this second, but what I was feeling in is that one of the girls was proud of the work that you're doing. And so it's just like the watching, the subtle, the quiet pride, not the overt pride. So it's like one of them is going to be able to say to their friends, guess what my mom does, you know, and kind of has that pride with it. So it's going to be really, really good for the girls. What else? So I don't understand this part, so you might have to break it apart for me, but there's this feeling surrounding school and your education, like your actual education, and doing this role without having completed all the way. Is there something going on there?
Yes.
Okay, what's going on?
Okay, so this is an associate superintendent position, and you have to have your superintendency license in order to do it. I have not completed my coursework for the position.
Okay.
But you can get a variance if a district really wants you to, and then you have 2 years to complete the requirements, or, you know, obviously they have to let you go.
Okay.
So yeah, so that was like my whole thing about the self-doubt.
Okay.
Because I interviewed for another position.
Okay.
And they were like, well, you don't have the superintendency license, so you can't go any further in the process.
Gotcha.
And
I I don't think that's going to be a problem for you here though. So
No, Carolyn Stanford Taylor has, and the superintendent has already told me that it's not going to be a problem.
Okay.
And that I would just do a variance, and I have 2 years to complete it. So,
okay, you will. How what would happen to your dissertation during that process?
well, I'm still actually working on the dissertation. So, I am doing that. Like I met with my dissertation coach this morning,
Okay.
today, and we finished up chapter 1. And so I'm working on chapter 2 and 3. That's
Okay.
You Are My Break from working on them.
Yay.
And so then I'm going to send it to my chair. And so our plan is to continue even as I take these classes for
Okay.
the superintendency license. I will just continue. Hopefully this summer we'll do my, I've done my practice preliminary, and then I'll do my preliminary, and then I
Okay.
can do my research in the fall and be done
Okay.
with the dissertation part. But I can't graduate, since I will be taking these superintendency courses now, until I
Okay.
complete the superintendency courses within my doctorate.
Okay. So it just got complicated, but not impossible. So that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you have the game plan put in place. You have, the steps that you need to take. Just stick to your plan. And the feeling that I'm getting though is like almost the need to literally have an outline of your plan posted on the wall so that you can kind of like reflect on it all the time and know it's like, this isn't forever. This chaos isn't, how it's going to be for the entire duration of my adult life. It's just for this period of time. And of course you'll be able to get it done. So
Okay. So just putting something out up there.
like literally an outline of that plan. Because
Okay.
I feel like you having that outline in sight keeps it at the forefront. It keeps your why very clear. Because I feel like you might end up accidentally kind of like bump up against your self-worth, or what the fuck am I doing this for? Or, all of that shows up when we get tired and get a little overwhelmed. And so keeping that in your forefront, I feel will help you stay very clear as to like what the goal is and where the finish line is. And just
Okay.
kind of helps you navigate through that.
Okay. Wonderful.
Let's see. Aw. Hubby is suggesting you put a picture of him beside it. So it's like, there's the goal and here's the cheerleader rooting you on.
How can I move on if he keeps saying that? He needs to stop. He needs to stop.
The funny thing is he's not asking you to move on per se. He's asking you to continue to live your life. That includes him. So it's like, you can, do X, Y, Z. You can go out and date. No one's expecting you to, remain faithful in that old way, but he loves playing with you. He loves kind of flirting and getting cute with you. And he's totally giving me vibes of like, I have no plans on stopping.
I know. But he's still him.
Right? He's totally sharing like you wouldn't want him to stop anyway. Like you would miss it. So right.
No.
So that gives you all the fun. Dude, he is a little flirt, isn't he? Because I'm not gonna put you on too far blast on this one, but he's totally giving me the like, when you're in bed by yourself, he's like right there talking or thinking about how, back when he would like, snuggle up beside you or behind you and you're like, stop it.
Oh my goodness.
So he's totally giving me that visual and just being like,
that.
Right, playful with it. And I dig it. Do you have a t-shirt of his or like something that you wear that's of his? You do?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I just washed, we went to the same college. Actually, it's so crazy because I have the t-shirt from the college on today. And I just washed, he has this green and white scarf. And I just washed it and I was like, oh, I gotta wear this again. I love wearing it. So
there you go. Dude, he's a flirt. Okay, so I love when they do this to me because it feels like I'm having an entirely too intimate of a conversation with you at this moment. However, I feel like he wants to see you in like his shirts, like night
Mhm.
shirts, like button down, like he wants to see you walking around with his shirts on. So that's one of the things he's given me.
Yeah, he always got a kick out of that because
Okay.
he's like 6'4", 300 pounds, and yeah.
So it would literally swim on you.
Yes, it would just engulf me. Like,
Yeah, he loves that. Like the feeling I'm getting surrounding that like topic is just big cheeks, super smiles, kind of flirty still.
mhm.
So
Oh,
he
you
keeps
said the cheeks. He had these huge cheeks when he smiled and laughed, and they were just like huge. I call like the Dizzy Gillespie when
oh
he would blow the horn.
Ah, he's giving me something else that I don't have the words yet. Give me just a second. Something. Again, it's one of those I don't quite understand, so I'll need you to piece it together. But he's talking about something about you walking around with nothing on, kind of thing. I'm not quite getting the words right, but to me, it's like one of those little like moments between the two of y'all. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be having like, dude, we need to stop because I can't.
Yeah, tell him to stop. We'll just talk about it later.
There we go. We'll talk about it later. Again, he's just giving me tons of smiles. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to share that's not X-rated, sir? Oh, he's rude. Okay. Anything not like that. Do you have a question for him that I can dig into?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, I am constantly talking to him. Just
Good. Yeah, because everything he's giving me right now is kinky and cute and slightly sexual and
you better stop.
right. And I'm like, she said stop. And he's just like it's like he's doing it to tease. So it's
Yeah.
like
Yep.
it's fun, but it's like, okay, you're making us blush now.
I
Very
wonder
funny.
why he's doing that. Hopefully there's some anticipation action on my part coming up.
Ooh,
Maybe that's why he's doing that.
ooh. He just gave me a fist bump, like with you and getting some action from somebody else. He gave me like a fist bump about that.
Okay.
So
Yep. Good. Good to know.
so the feeling he's giving me is like telling you he's not gonna watch, but it'll be very much the whole like looking over your shoulder kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like he'll make a point of not doing anything in the room kind of thing, but he's totally gonna be like, dude, just
You said that before. That's so funny that he needs to stop.
funny. Just don't tell the person you're with about that, because that would be like
That would freak them out.
it would freak them out. It would freak them
Yeah.
out. He doesn't need, your person doesn't need an audience, but
Yeah, no.
oh gosh, she's funny. What else? Are you talking to someone?
Not really.
Not
No.
really. Okay.
Kind of, not kind of,
Kind of not. Okay. Because he's giving me the feeling of like the person that you choose to spend that time with, he approves. So either now or whenever it happens, you have that person has his approval. So that's awesome.
Oh, wow.
What else? Yeah, he's just giving me words about like he'll need to make my girl happy. Excuse me, not my girl. He specified my woman happy. Okay.
Mhm.
He was like, "Oh, get it right. Yes, ma'am. Sir. Sorry. Yes, sir." He's giving me did he play dice or dominoes?
Yeah, sometimes. That's funny that you would, yeah.
He just totally gave me like dice and also dominoes. So I got both of those.
Yep.
Do you play ever?
No,
Okay.
never. I don't even know how. Like he was he did that with his friends, cards like spades and all that stuff. And yeah, no, not me.
Not you. He's totally giving me like he would have taught you if you'd let him, but it's
Yeah, but they get, you know how people, black folk in card games and dominoes and spades. I was the person that made the drinks.
right.
Like, I made the drinks and, sat and talked about other stuff. But yeah, they did the cards and the stuff.
Was there a time where he like when he was around, when you were like at a place and he was playing dominoes or something and you were making something like you were making chicken while they were doing this kind of thing? Like, was
Yeah,
there ever that
I was always doing something like
okay,
that. You got to make yourself useful if you didn't play cards. So be like,
right?
bring me another drink. These card people are very serious. So the ones who didn't play were the ones that you needed a refill on the drink or the beer or the alcohol or some more food. Yeah.
Yeah. He keeps bringing me back to chicken though. Like that was like the thing or the thing that you were doing is like bringing.
We love chicken wings. So it's
Okay,
a thing.
that makes sense then. He's giving me like stuff about like remembering him at the next party. So, but he gave me the Super Bowl for a quick second, which I know the Super Bowl just passed.
Yeah.
Huh. Did you do something for him or think about him during the Super Bowl? Like, why is he bringing that up for me?
We used to do, okay, so let me give you some background information.
Okay.
The superintendent of the district that I'm going to was his mentor, and like they were like best friends.
Oh,
Like
wow.
this was and I was introduced through to the superintendent and his family through Tim,
Okay.
because Tim met his wife when he was in 8th grade. She was
Oh,
like an after school teacher, and he's been with them since then, like literally. So they moved. He became superintendent of, Madison, which is a large school district. And like we used to play cards with them and have these nights where we just go over and hang out, our kids, their daughter, friends, family, and just huge. And so it was like Super Bowl, any time to get together,
yeah.
we'd have, just go over either to their house, like even like when there were fights, that were
Nice.
going on and pay-per-view, just all kinds of things where, just get together for good, clean fun.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so because I never like really did the cards or the things that they did, I would always be the person either making the drinks if we were drinking daiquiris or whatever the drink of the night was,
Great.
and then the food, just, helping to make sure it's prepared. So yeah,
Okay.
so that's probably what he's talking about with like those get-togethers.
I love that.
And since they moved, I haven't been able to do that because they're in Wisconsin. I'm still in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And so now it's like our opportunity to be able to do that. So that's dope.
Good. I hope you allow yourself to partake because it seems like it's fun. It seems like also he would love to participate, in his own little, kind of way. But just like you said, the good, clean fun, the energy of it, it feels good. It feels good. And anything that feels good, he's all for, especially for you. Like he wants you to do anything that makes you happy and anything that keeps you happy, anything that keeps a smile on your face. So he is
Good.
all for that. He keeps like giving me like, having kind of like having a party for him or remembering him at the party or have a wing for him kind of thing. Like he's just like giving the vibes of like when you go to a party, just remember to bring me along kind of thing. So just think of him because he
We
would love.
always do though. That's the
Good.
thing. Like we always do. It always becomes a point in the night where either Lisa or Doc or somebody will bring him up and talk about it,
Good. Well, then I'm glad he is not going to be left out.
No, he's never left out.
All right, let's see. Is there anything else we need to know? He's giving me roses. So just like, love for you. Just being sweet about it. He's kind of giving me something about wishing he could have gotten you something for Valentine's Day, or hoping he could have gotten you something for Valentine's Day. So if he didn't arrange a surprise or something for you, just, I feel like he's giving me like remind you that he wanted to give you something for Valentine's Day. So he never stopped the kind of like internal tradition of like, it's Valentine's Day, I need to get my person something.
Yeah,
So,
that's sweet. He always did good.
aw. Did he get you plants?
I'm not a plant person. He
Okay.
did a few times, but that's not my jam.
That's not your thing. Okay. Because he totally just gave me a plant reference. I'm like, okay.
Well, yeah, the fact that I always kill them.
Oh, well, that makes sense. So he's just giving fun stuff now.
Yeah, he's just being funny.
Oh, all right. Well, Sweet Pea, is there anything else that I can dig into that's not, your job, your sweet husband that showed up for us? Anything else I can dig into?
No, just if you got any if anybody else is around besides him, tell him to take a break. We'll talk
Oh,
later.
all right, go
But
sit
if
down.
anybody else is around, any of the other ancestors or guides have any words or anything.
Yeah. I feel like I got a hold of the older woman. I'm trying to see what
She
her
always
relationship.
there. That's
Oh,
my
okay.
grandma.
Okay, good. I'm glad you remember, because I don't keep, running Rolodex. I
I
wish
know
I
you
could.
don't, but I kind of know them because we have these conversations sometimes.
Oh,
So
good. What did she give me? Who are you? She's giving me like feelings and like messages of you remembering to take care of yourself, but very in that whole like, honey, remember you need to eat, pack yourself a sandwich. You need to take care of yourself, because sometimes you run a little bit too far too long. So she's
but
just
she
being like,
knows food is not going to be neglected with me. So
because she keeps giving me sandwiches, like putting a sandwich, like how you used to do for kids, where you would make a little
yep.
sandwich for lunch and send them on their way. That's the stuff that she's giving me.
Tell her no sandwiches. I'm trying not to eat bread. I got an event to go to.
Oh, she's trying to have her hot mama on. I
Yes,
love it. I
yes,
love
definitely.
it. What else? She's still giving me stuff about taking care of yourself. Let me see if she's giving me something specific. What do you mean? Do you have like a test or something that you were supposed to have gotten done, or an appointment that you were supposed to have gotten done that you put off, or said you would do it later after something happens?
No, not recently. I did just see I think when I turned 45, they sent me a thing for what is it, colonoscopy thing or whatever.
Okay,
So I just got a reminder for that.
gotcha. I'm wondering if that's what she's talking about, because it seems like a lot of energy for just something that's like, hey, she got a reminder in the mail, she'll be fine. But it feels like you have this, either you've put off a test that you should have done or need to have done, but she's just kind of requesting kind of over and over again that you don't put those things off.
Okay.
She keeps bringing my attention to like your throat or your thyroid. She's bringing up my hypothyroidism. So I'm wondering if for you, if it's something just to kind of keep an eye on it or check on it or see if there's anything going on there. You don't have hypothyroidism or anything like that, do you?
Not that I know of, but that's interesting that you say that, because for the past like a week, like my throat has been like really sore and hurting,
Oh, okay.
like all the way like from here down to my chest. Like,
Okay.
that's interesting. Then it kind of goes away. It like,
Okay. I love that she's bringing it up then. So suggestion, she's not even like saying going to your general practitioner if you have to, but she's saying like going to like an ear, nose, and throat person and just have it looked at. And she's giving me more like peace of mind regarding it.
Mm-hmm.
So I always feel like if it's something bad, then they either make you or figure out a process that doesn't involve me to go get it done. But
Oh,
this
yeah.
feels more like, just go take care of it now before it becomes a bigger issue. Like instead of waiting 6 weeks and then you're in the middle of your job, you then end up having to take 2 weeks off of work because now you have strep. So it's like, go ahead and take care of it now, so it's not a bigger issue later on, and then it really disrupts things or derails things or threatens whatever you have going on that's time sensitive.
Okay.
So definitely dig into that. Yeah, I feel like I hit it for her. So
You did, because that's weird. Because I was like, why is this like hurting like from my throat? Like, and it's like, and at first I was like, well, maybe it's, acid reflux or whatever, because it was like going down. And I was like,
yeah.
what is that? So interesting.
Do you have any honey in the house?
Yes.
Okay. She's just giving the reference of using some honey in the meantime to kind of help soothe whatever's going on there, until you get it seen. So just kind of like a little remedy in the meantime, not a band-aid. So don't like, it's not done. You still need to go take care of yourself, but she's recommending some honey to go along with that. Honey
Okay.
tea. That's cool. Thank you, Sweet Pea.
Wow.
What else? She was recommending time in the garden or time outside, but you just said that you tend to kill plants. So I'm like, wait, she doesn't like that though.
Yeah, she knows. She was avid with her gardening and
Oh,
with
okay.
being outside, and my parents both they have gardens, and I mean they were raised in the country, so, and
Okay.
she lived in the country, and so she had a farm, and she, when we used to go there, she used to make us go out, and I hated being out there, like picking the greens and the beans
Very
and all of that.
good.
I was the grandkid that was like, nope, this ain't for me. As soon as
Yeah.
I can leave, I'm leaving Mississippi because I ain't out here in no garden. It was hot. I was scared of the bugs, the
Yeah.
worms.
Yeah, she just brought
Yes.
up like maggots and little white mill, like almost like
Yes.
cicadas when they're underground, they're still in their larval stage. She just brought up that visual for me.
Yeah. I
So,
would be running and like not trying to be out there. Then it, like, Mississippi heat is very hot.
oh yeah.
And you're out there in the garden and they've cleared, there's no trees. And I was like, and we were, oh, no. So I don't know why she bringing that up, because she knows that's my nemesis.
That's funny though, because I think it's more of the memory, because she's chattering along with your memory, and she's giving me like stuff about the kids and the sprinklers, and like she gave me the little millworm thing, and she gave me a plant earlier, but I didn't recognize the plant. So when you said collard greens, I'm like, okay, that's what it is. I don't know what that plant looks like. I know what it looks like when it's on my plate. Like I know that one.
Yeah.
But
Well, hers were huge. They were beautiful.
okay.
She had beautiful collard greens if the worms didn't get them. So we had to make sure that we sprinkled some of, I don't know what this white powder was, but you sprinkle this white powder on them to keep the worms from getting them. And I would do that, but I'm not out there trying to,
Right. Because she keeps circling back to like the humidity and the heat, and then like I almost feel like that's why we turned on the water or the sprinklers or something like that, and the kids would play in that for a second and she'd just do whatever.
We didn't have sprinklers. We had a water hose.
Water hose, okay. Because she was giving me water and I thought it was a sprinkler.
Yeah, she didn't have any sprinklers. She had
Not
a
like
water
that.
hose.
That's funny. Yeah, she's totally giving me like drinking out of the water hose vibe, so
Yep.
that makes sense.
Because if we went outside, we couldn't keep coming back in.
Yeah.
And so she'd put some water on the carport. She had like a carport, and they'd fill the jugs with water, but it would get really hot during the day. So it was
Yeah,
cooler to drink it out of the
the
hose.
hose. Oh, just that taste of like that metallic in the sun too long hose taste. Yeah, I remember those days. She was giving me something a lot, like again, she's chatting along with your conversation about like the screen door. Like, was that her thing about the screen door?
Yeah, you couldn't keep coming back in. Plus, they had these air conditioners, and they didn't have central air at her
Gotcha.
house. And so if you kept coming in, it wouldn't, the air
Wouldn't,
conditioner. Yeah.
yeah, it wouldn't cool off the house.
Yeah. So it would be too hot in the house. So if you were outside and you're a kid, you just kind of stayed outside. You couldn't keep coming back in and out.
Did you have like a grandfather or an uncle that was in the house at the same time as her?
Yep. My grandpa.
Okay, because he totally just seems like he's the guy that was sitting on the sofa yelling at the kids to shut the door, kind of thing. Like that
Yep.
was like the, the
Yep.
feel
And
I was
she
getting.
had this long switch stick
Oh,
thing. Yeah. And so she'd wrap it down on the floor if you kept coming in, and she'd say, I'm gonna get you, but she never got anybody, but she'd be wrapping it like, I'm gonna get you if you keep coming in here. So we were all scared. And
oh,
grandpa would be sitting, he had like this recliner, and he'd be sitting in there and he'd be like, y'all stop coming in here now. He'd just be
yeah.
sitting there just watching, but they never really had the TV on until night. So they
Okay.
just sit there like, I don't know what they did, but they just sit there because we'd be outside. But yeah, those are great memories.
Aw. Because was he the type of person that would have like sweets or like candies in his pocket to kind of like give to the kids every now and then? Because
That's my mom's dad.
oh, okay. Well, that was the
So
feeling that one of them just gave me.
yeah, that's my mom's dad.
Okay.
Her dad did that.
Aw.
And he would always have little treats for us. And sometimes they'd be smushed because they were in his pocket all day.
Yes, that was literally okay. So the visual that I got was the peppermints when they've gotten a little bit melted, but they're
Yep.
still in that wrapper. And so you're like, thanks. And you're like, that's stupid, good for, we get irritated because of it, but it's like, oh, thanks for
Yeah.
thinking of me, kind of thing. Ah, that's funny.
Yeah, my mom's dad, he was the sweetest person. And he would always have like something, they didn't have much, but he'd always have some type of little treat for us when we came, and it'd be wrapped up in his pocket. And it's like, okay, grandpa, thank you. But
Yeah.
yep.
Because it totally seems like either he's giving, I'm assuming that's who I'm talking to, because why is he bringing that up then? But it totally gave me like the candies in the pocket, and then like he feels like the person that would have given you like a dime or like just
Yes.
okay.
Oh my gosh, you just brought that up, because he would always have all of his grandkids. When we would come, I'm serious. My grandpa would have either little containers like the baby food jars
Yeah.
of little money for each of us. And it would be
Aw,
pennies, dimes, quarters, no
okay.
dollars or anything, but
Right, none of that.
he would just put all of this change in there for us. And so when
Oh,
we came, we would get them. Oh my
I
goodness.
love that. I love that. What else? That's
Oh
so
my
cute.
goodness. I gotta tell my mom about that. I totally forgot about that memory. Like we used to go, and they would be different sizes and just whatever he could find to just
Yeah.
put his change in. Once one got full or halfway full, he'd start another one. And so when we would go visit, you'd have this change. And he was illiterate, right? But he
Oh,
would always
okay.
make us count it out to him to see how much it was. Like,
Oh,
and we didn't realize, I never knew he was illiterate until I was older, and I could
okay.
realize, grandpa can't read and write,
Gotcha. So
you
he
know.
was that's interesting because he was just giving me the feeling of those change was like his half genuine, half knowing this isn't going to do a drop in the bucket, but half genuine, like he wanted to help pay for college kind of thing. Like he wanted to like help you go to school. Like, it kind of had that feeling of like something I couldn't do. Like I wanted you to do that. So he
Wow.
knows it's a drop in the bucket in the comparison of things, but it was half like I really wanted to do that. So
That's so funny you said that, because my mom and her sister were the only two of their siblings to go to college.
okay.
They're the twins, and all of their siblings say, well, mama and daddy love the twins more than anybody than the other kids. And my mom and my aunt, like they're really, really close, but they were the only two to go to
Okay.
college. And my grandpa used to say, my twins were the smartest girls I ever met. He'd always say that they were so smart. And
Wow.
yeah, so that's something, because he would, like, we went together. My mom and my aunt always went together. My mom has 2 daughters, my aunt has 2 daughters, right? So the four of us would be there, and then
Yeah.
their youngest sister, she would come sometimes with her
Okay.
kids. But most of the time when we went, it was my mom and my aunt. Now
Okay.
there's 12 I think on my mom's side is 12, and on my dad's side it was 14
Well.
kids. So yeah, so well, my grandpa, though, he had additional kids
Okay.
outside of the kids he had with my grandma, because of this
Okay.
situation in Arkansas. I don't know, maybe you can find out if it's true or not, but he supposedly was a fugitive
Oh.
back in the day, because when he was in Kosciuszko or Arkansas, we're not quite sure.
Okay.
He was with a woman, common law, and supposedly a white man raped her, and my
Mm.
grandpa found them in the act, and
Mm.
he beat up and killed this man.
Okay.
And he hopped the train, some people got him out, and because their maiden name is Landingham, but there's no existence of Landingham
Okay.
on the census records. I have the ancestry. His actual name was Robert Grantham,
Okay.
and he kind of disappears. He disappears from like census in like at 20, I think it was like 21 or 22, he disappears.
Okay.
And Robert Landingham shows up a few years later, but there's no like government records, social security, any of that. It's just Robert Landingham, and he worked as, odd jobs paid in cash mostly.
Yeah.
And so when he was old and my mom and aunt took him to get social security payments, it took a few years to
I can
get it because
imagine.
he didn't exist.
Okay.
So that's the urban legend in our family. We
Yeah.
have the documentation to show that he should have been Robert Grantham, not Robert Landingham. And that's the story behind it, that the older siblings told my mom, because
Okay.
you know how you have 2 sets of kids where
Yeah.
there's a big difference. My mom has nieces and nephews that are older than she is
Okay.
because of the first set of kids.
Gotcha.
So
Huh.
that's our little family history that people don't want to talk about.
Okay.
And that's why there's a different family in Arkansas or Kosciuszko or wherever they are.
Wherever they are. Let's see. While you were talking about the story, he did give me some clarifying details, so I'll totally go over those with you. But he's been circling around this one little topic about his feet hurting. Do you happen to know, like, if he had any issues with his feet, or if his shoes were too small or something like that with his feet?
He always, to me, and I thought it was because he was like really, really tall. Like my grandpa was like, over 6 foot tall. He was a really tall man. He
Okay.
always walked like he dragged one foot behind the other a little bit to me.
Okay.
And I don't know what happened. But it always I noticed that as I was growing up, a slight lag.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what that is or what that was.
Okay, thank you. Because I mean, he's clarifying now, but I don't know why he's bringing it up, but I love those little details because I feel like it just kind of adds texture to their stories. But he's kind of sharing with me like he had nerve damage or something that caused that, one, having pain in his feet, and then his feet not acting right. So that would make sense based on what you shared. But
Yeah,
it was like
no doctors.
Okay, right. I mean, he probably, like, nowadays he probably could have had it treated and gotten better shoes that would have helped him, but he was too busy trying not to be seen, essentially, is what the feeling was. But no, to clarify the story, um, he, okay, so when you said he was supposedly a fugitive, he kind of not really agreed, but recognized that. And then when you talked about that, he walked in on his, was it his wife or the woman he was with at the time? She was being raped by somebody else.
That's the story. I don't know
Yes.
if it was consensual or not.
Okay, that's the
sto-
part where he's very, he doesn't agree with that one at all. And the experience he's giving me was more, it was consent, like a, he walked in on what the way that he feels it was like an affair. Like he walked in on his woman sleeping with another person. He got
Okay.
upset. He got into a fight and he knew he needed to leave. Like, because it seems like that area, and I can only go off of stories. It's like you beat up a white guy and that's over. Like it's over
Yep.
for you.
Yep.
And so he hopped the train and he left. And the changing his name was trying to put distance and also like legal stuff. He was scared. You know, he was scared about that, needing to leave, that needing to abruptly leave. Did he have children at that time, you said?
I think so, but because I don't know if this was before he had the children in Arkansas.
Okay.
See, there are two stories. There's one that this happened in Kosciuszko,
Okay.
and he hopped the trains to go to Arkansas, and that's where he had the other family. I do know he does have other kids that at his funeral that we found out about that came from Arkansas.
Okay.
So I don't know if there are other kids in Kosciuszko. I've looked to try to find them under the Grantham name and
Yeah.
haven't been able to find anyone, but because it was a common law relationship and I don't know who this woman was in
Yeah.
Kosciuszko, I don't have a name for her because there was nothing legal. I don't know how to find out if they are,
Okay.
so that's the piece. And then their courthouse and their records, they had a huge fire back
Oh,
here.
okay.
There's a lot of records that were destroyed. So I've been using Ancestry. I like pay membership to dig up
Yeah.
all these records to try
Good.
to find as much as I can on him.
Okay.
But I've been able to find his father, whose name was Major Grantham.
Oh.
And so I know his father, I know his sisters who were Granthams. So I have all of that. And I have an uncle who remembers Major.
Okay.
And so talks about that and says, you guys' last name is not Landingham. He had to change it to Landingham. It
Yeah.
is Grantham.
Got you. Goodness. Because it feels like, or the feeling that he gave me when he had to leave, it was more of the, at least at the time, he felt like he was keeping his family safe. So it was like he was trying to keep the babies safe. And so before he hopped the train, I think he had children at that time. And so he thought that act was keeping the family safe.
Okay. So I'm going to try to do some more research. And I know I did a DNA test on Ancestry, and there's a couple of people I've tried to link with that haven't responded back.
Oh,
That came
okay.
in as close relatives, and I don't know who they are.
Oh.
So yeah, and I've like reached out to them, but they would be really, really old now if he had
Yeah.
kids before because my mom is, she was born in 1950.
Okay.
And so she has older siblings by her mom and dad, because like I said, they had 12 kids together. And then he
Wow.
had kids in Arkansas. So, if he has these kids in Kosciuszko, they could be well into their 80s,
Yeah.
early 90s.
I think you'll find mostly just history about those children, not so much the children though.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
leaning into the story about them, if you find them, feels like, at least the way he's describing it, is more of what would be actually possible at this point.
Yeah. Or their grandkids or something like that.
There we
Because
go.
yeah, because he and my grandma had, like, my mom and my aunt way into their late 40s. So
Wow.
yeah, they were my mom, when the twins were born, they were 47. And when the last one was born, 49.
Okay.
My grandma was 49. So
Wow.
Yeah.
That's having a lot of children late in life, but hey, you do what you do.
Well, yeah. And remember, these are multiple sets of kids that he went on having
So many babies. Oh my
in
goodness.
so many different states and communities. So
Oh goodness. He keeps circling back to a little bit of shame that he has about that. So I'm wondering if he had it his way, he would have preferred to have been a bit more involved with all of the kids. Because I feel like he had a lot of pride in being like that masculine, I had all of these, he has that kind of masculine, I did that kind of thing. And then on the flip side, a little bit of like, because every time I go back to that, he quiets up like really quietly, where he feels like either embarrassed or shame about not being available or around or able. He's giving me the words able for his previous kids, because
yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
not the story that he wanted them to have of him. Because
Yeah, because nobody knew. Like literally only the older kids knew. And that's because as he got older, when he passed away, as he got older, he had, said something to them, but they literally, my mom and my aunt did not know. They met these people for the first time at his funeral
Wow.
when they showed up.
Yeah, that's hard. That is definitely hard. But no, he recognizes the difficulty in that, and so he doesn't blame anybody for the way they feel and like the intrinsic anger that sometimes shows up because of that. He
Yeah.
doesn't, he's like, yeah, that's exactly what should happen, you should be angry, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I don't think they were angry. They just were more confused. And it was just, the talk of the town, because I was young at that
Yeah.
time. And I just remember like, who are these people? Did somebody say those grandpa kids? That was the kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then the cousins are like, saying, somebody said that's grandpa other kids. Those are grandpa kids, just, and it was just on and on and on. And then all of a sudden, when we had family get-togethers, they were coming after he died.
Okay.
So people were like, oh, the family from Arkansas is coming.
Very cool. I love that they were embraced ultimately, though. So that's good.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't think any of them are still living anymore.
Okay.
Because remember, they were older, and my mom's older siblings, she's lost three of her older siblings, and they were older than the older siblings because there's this big gap
Yeah.
in their ages. So
dang.
yeah, so she's like 72, and then she, her older siblings 90, because there's almost like a 20-year age difference.
That's a lot of I love how rich of a family history. I mean, yeah, you have some like gaps in the knowledge and in the stuff that's going on there, but that's such a rich family history. And so I have like not jealousy, but I'm kind of proud of you for having all that information. And so go you. I'm glad that you have that.
This is years of research and asking family, and this actually started when I was in high school.
Wow.
We had a genealogy project, and I just got totally interested.
Yep.
And again, after he died and all these stories started surfacing, and my Aunt Annie, before she died, she gave the story and gave us the whole story. And I figured there's some gaps in what she was saying, because she was older at the time.
Yeah.
When she was saying, he was a fugitive and he used to hop trains, and he'd play harmonica on these trains. And he was like almost like a hobo, just like living on these trains, and would hop off, and he got off in Arkansas and went to work, and that's where he met, this lady or whatever, for the next set of family that he set up, and stayed there for a while, and then he left, so, and I don't know how he ended up in Neshoba County, because to me that's very close to Kosciuszko, and I wouldn't have came back that close to
where there's all this stuff going on.
Yeah, and where I supposedly did that. But at that time when he came back, he was Robert Landingham.
Okay.
And he was working, actually he was a sharecropper.
Oh, okay.
And he worked on this farm, this white man. He just, he farmed, and they live way out in the country, like way out where nobody gonna find you. But to me, in Neshoba County, it's Ku Klux Klan land.
Oh,
So I would
okay.
have been terrified to be out in the middle of nowhere if anybody found the secret.
Yeah.
But he didn't go anywhere, from
Okay.
what I understand. He didn't go anywhere. They grew everything. He literally stayed out there.
Okay. Yeah, that was how he felt safe, essentially. Oh, I love it. I was asking him just to see if he had, because I know that we'll need to wrap up here in a little bit,
Yes.
even though it's so fun to like dig into your family. Like, I feel like these are the loudest that I've ever gotten, like for you about your family. So
Yes.
I dig it. But I wanted to like ask him like a big message or a something that he wanted to share with you. And I felt what I got from him briefly was just a lot of immense pride about you working in education. And he keeps bringing it back to like almost like civil rights within education.
Yeah.
So the fact that you are doing that kind of work.
I
like,
never told you what I do in education.
well, this is what he's giving me, so I'm just going with that.
But oh my God, because that's my work in education.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what he's giving me is like,
Okay.
because I legit like wrote down civil rights. So
Yep.
to me,
Oh my gosh.
he's just giving a lot of pride and not like, oh, I'm proud of you. This is like when you take your hat off because you know you're hearing you're finally being included kind of thing. You're showing respect because it's now finally happening kind of thing. So there's this
Wow.
immense pride that shows up, and he's legit recognizing like what that kind of work does for not just him but for all families like yours, but also his family. So he's like, low-key, this is kind of awesome. So it's very, very like selfish, and that's very good for everybody else, but I'm going to take a whole lot of like ownership of that.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. What else?
Wow. I can't believe that he even recognizes that. And
Yeah.
I've never told you that's exactly what I do. I work around educational equity.
Okay.
Gosh.
Yeah, he loves it. Because I feel like he doesn't understand a lot of it, but he feels like he doesn't have to.
Mm-mm.
But he just knows the outcome of what you're producing and what you're trying to do, and is kind of like standing in solidarity, like just standing in support. And anytime, like he feels a little bit helpless in that regard, like he wish he could contribute more to that work. But like you said he was illiterate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't get a lot of it. He doesn't understand it from like, you know, this human perspective kind of thing, but he understands it's needed, it's necessary, it's valuable. And that kind of pride of like, if he's hanging out with his buds on the, you know, in the spirit world, he's like, she does that. So that very, like very proud.
Nice.
So he's he's just proud of you. I love that. Oh. He's claiming that you got something from him. So give me a second. Let me see what he's talking about.
Yeah, what's he talking about?
It's like something around the want to fight or the need to fight or the need to fight back, like that kind of energy. He's taking ownership of like, yeah, you got that from me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I totally, yeah, that's him.
Aww.
But by the time he was older and we were, you know, he was our grandfather, he didn't have, he kind of suppressed that. We called him a gentle giant. But I heard back in, you know, when, yeah, that he had been that person that was always ready to fight and just, yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, he's not giving me anything else. So I feel like he's kind of like, okay, we're good. And he's kind of drifted off.
Good.
But is there
good.
anybody else that I can look into for you or anything else you'd like me to dig into?
I don't think so. This has been so, oh my gosh. So yeah.
Oh, I'm
was-
glad I could do that for you.
Yeah, this was amazing. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Well, I got a ton of pages for you, so I'll separate the PDF between you and Miss Lindsay, and you'll have all of the doodles. It was like 11 pages or so of doodles.
Wow.
I just-
Okay, I can't
all of
wait
it.
to see them,
Yeah.
especially just to look at them and see what point of it in our conversation.
All righty. Well, Sweet Pea, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I'll see if I can make sure that I get a copy of this uploaded so that you all can download it or do with it as you will.
Wonderful.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome. You take care and have a good rest of your night.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.